questions 6 through 12, we're going to evaluate and simplify as indicated. So let's take a look here at number 6. So for number 6, I'm going to do f of 34, which means I'm taking 3/4, and I'm going to substitute it in for x, excuse me. Now, without using a calculator, is there a quicker way to go about doing this? Yeah, I'm going to simplify the 4 and the 27. I know that 4 goes into itself once, and 4 divides into 28 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21, and 21 minus 10 is 11. So I do want to write this as f of 3/4 equals 11. Let's take a look at number 7, same concept. F of -5 equals -5 squared plus 1. -5 squared is 25. 25 plus 1 is 26. I do want to write this in correct notation. F of -5 equals 26. Let's look at number 8. So here we go. For number 8, I have 4 times -1 to the 5th plus 2 times -1 to the 4th minus 3 times -1 to the 3rd. And what I want to remind us of here is that whenever we have a negative value raised to an exponent that's odd, our final answer is going to be negative. So 1 is easy to work with, right? Whether it's -1 or a +1, 1 times 1 times 1, whether we're taking 1 to the 10th or 1 to the 100th is 1. Now with a negative number, we need to keep in mind. So for instance, this is going to provide me, I need to think about when I'm doing this, because this is an expression that I'm evaluating. I'm doing PEMDAS from the top down. So first I'm going to think of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So first of all, is there any work to do in parentheses? No, there's no work to do in parentheses. Is there any exponents? Yes. So in this position right here, I have -1 to an odd number. This is -1, and then I'm going to multiply. -1 times 4 is -4. Same thing here, but it's to an even number. So this portion is going to be a +1 times 2 is a +2. This is going to become, because this is an odd number, -1 times -3 is a +3. Because it's a positive, or not positive, because it's even, I'm going to have a +1. +1 times -5 is -5, and I have a -1, and I have a +5. Now from left to right, I'm just going to combine. So this is going to give me a -2, -2 plus 3, so -2 plus 3, and I just have -5 minus 1 plus 5. Okay, this is going to give me a +1 minus 5. It's going to be a -4, -5 plus 5, and I end up with a 0. So I need to still write this as f of -1 equals 0. Let's come down here to number 9. I'm going to substitute in -pi/4 into this position. Well, I know when I substitute that in, taking absolute value makes it positive. So f of -pi/4 is equal to 180 times pi/4, and then we're going to divide that entire thing by pi. Okay, well, let's take this and let's move this horizontally. So I have 180/4, and there's a pi on top. And now I want to divide this. By pi/1. Remember, when we take and divide here by this bottom fraction, we're really going to multiply by the reciprocal of it. So 1/pi. Make sure that's a 1, as you can see. So the pi on top and the pi on the bottom, they don't just disappear. They're going to simplify into 1. And now 180 times 1 is 180/4. What's the quickest way to do this? Well, if I think of this right here, I'm going to think of this in my head as 2 times 2. So what's half of 180? Half of 180 is 90. And now I'll move that other 2 over, and half of 90 is 45. Now that's without using a calculator. That's how I think of it, as a quicker way to take care of that using a number sense. In concepts here, just making sure we're putting this in the correct notation. So f of 3, I'm going to take this 3 and I'm substituting in. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. And taking the 3 down here, 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So at this point, I do have an answer of 7/10. That 7/10 cannot be reduced, so f of 3 is equal to 7/10. Let's go on right now and let's look at our next one. Now I have a 5x. So it's not just a 5, it's a 5x. So f of 5x equals, so 5x times 2 would be 10x minus 3. And then on the bottom I have 5x, oops, forgot the x there, 10x. minus 3. And on the bottom I have 5x. I mean, wherever this goes in, I should probably actually show my work a little better for those who may be struggling here with this problem. Let me go back and show all my work. Okay, so I have 10x minus 3 over 5x plus 1. And that's all I can do for this problem. So f of 5x equals, there's no additional work that can be done here, 5x plus 1. Let's go on to our very last problem, number 12 here. Same thing, let me show all of my work. So I'm going to substitute in x squared plus 1 wherever I see an x on top. X squared plus 1 minus 3, and x squared plus 1 minus 1 on the bottom. Okay, so the 2 does need to be distributed to both terms inside of the parenthesis, and that gives me 2x squared plus 2 minus 3. On the bottom, there's nothing on the outside that's being distributed other than a 1, so I have x squared plus 1 minus 1. And so we can see that our positive 1 and our negative 1 on the bottom, they're additive inverses, they equal 0, and on top these can combine to give us a negative 1. So I have 2x squared minus 1 on top. On the bottom I only have an x squared. So f of x squared plus 1 is equal to 2x squared minus 1 over x squared.